guess as you kind of go through Richard's first start, obviously here at IU, just kind of what did you see? How did he grade out? Where can he improve?
A lot of good, a lot of bad. We thought that he managed the game really well, and not everything was perfect, but he took care of the football, didn't turn it over, kept us in good situations, kept us on schedule. And there's a lot he can improve. He can be more accurate. He can always make better reads. He can always make better decisions. But for the most part, he played really well, managed the game well, and we can build on it from there.
How important was it that especially as maybe things really tightened up there in the third quarter, it seemed like it never really affected him, and obviously he came out and had the fourth quarter.
We thought that was a positive for the whole team, that we were in a situation that with our backs up against the wall, we were down by one, start the fourth quarter, and we put together a couple good drives and some touchdowns, and then our defense was able to ice it. But, I thought that was really important, not only for Rich to be in that situation, but really for the whole team.
You guys had 2 touchdowns on 12 trips across the 50, something Wilson brought up. I mean, what did you see that you guys maybe did well in the situations where you did score, and what are some areas where you felt like you kind of had to clean up?
I think what we need to clean up is we were just beating ourselves. We would have the ball on the 5-yard line and jump off sides, or have a false start penalty or a holding penalty, really just a self-inflicted wound. So if we can take that out of our game, it's really more what we did to ourselves more than what the defense did against us, or not putting ourselves in a good situation. But other than that, then when we did make the plays, we were in rhythm, and we were able to make some shots. And we just got to make sure once we cross the 50, our urgency turns up and we execute and not beat ourselves.
With those false starts in particular, why do you think that was, and what can you do to?
I don't know if it's anything in particular. We always tell our quarterbacks you need to be loud, and so to make sure everyone can hear you when you can get off in the snap count. Sometimes kids just get antsy and just jump the snap, and other than that, I don't know what it is other than just mistakes that we can clean up mentally.
So how good was it to see Danny Friend after what he's kind of been through injury-wise come back and get a
Really
start
good.
for his
And again, Danny's had a great spring, great fall camp. He works hard. He's been a great leader. This is important to him. A lot like Michael Cooper a year ago. I think he's playing hard. I think he's playing hungry. Doesn't really want to come off the field, and is doing a good job with everything that we ask him to do.
With those tight ends kind of in general, with Fuchs kind of being out for a while, what do you kind of look for out of them just in terms of replacing that production?
We need the next man to step up, and we're going to give them all a chance. We're going to use Ian Thomas and Austin Doris and everybody, and just see who kind of steps up. But for us, we need the next guy to step up. And whatever role we ask them to do, we need those guys to execute it.
Coach Wilson had some pointed words for Devine after that fumble Thursday, and it sounded like he fumbled again yesterday. How was he kind of answer that challenge?
Well, really well, and all of our kids do. That's the number one staple in our program is we don't ever want to put the ball on the ground, and we don't accept it. If you fumble, then you come out, and that's kind of always how it has been. And our kids know that. I don't think Devine's proud of it. I don't think he tried to do it, but it's just not acceptable. And for us to get to where we want to be, we got to take that out of our game.
Mike Majed, running back, obviously handing the ball to him, but he seems to have a real knack catching the ball in the backfield on those screens and get some big plays for you. I mean, how nice is it to have that kind of weapon, maybe on third down or third and long?
Really good. Mike's a talented kid that we recruited, played quarterback, played receiver, played running back, all in high school, so he's done all those things. He's used to having a ball in his hand. And when we recruited him out of high school, we kind of thought he could be anything. He's a jack of all trades, and now you put him in a situation where he can hand him the ball or toss it to him out of the backfield. That to me is a great dual threat. He's a very skilled, talented kid. We're going to try to keep feeding him the ball.
I guess how do you feel like that running back rotation in general? We heard so much about using a lot of guys back there through the season. Obviously, Devine gets the most carries, but how do you feel like that rotation sort of settled itself out first?
I think it's still settling itself out. I think we're trying to give each guy's roles and give each guy's opportunities while we spell Devine. Devine's going to be number one guy that run out there. But I didn't mind it. I thought, because what happens is when you put those guys in game situations, when the lights come on, they either step up or they don't. So eventually they're going to weed themselves out. Right now we're going to keep feeding it to them and find out who's going to shut it down and who's going to rise to the top. So until that happens, we're going to keep feeding it to them.
Coach McCullough was saying that Cole Guest was almost running too fast. I guess how do you establish the balance between running with the right pace and also taking advantage of those physical gifts he has?
Yeah, it's just coaching and getting him to settle down. Sometimes you can mess with his alignments too, and that's one thing we love about him is that he's going to hit it downhill and he's going to hit it fast. Now, as a young freshman, just learn how to settle down, use pace, and then hit the hole. I think he'll come to that. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right.